Okay, so this is a pretty interesting way to start this new video. I just arrived in Korea the other day, and I'm here to film the kind of behind the scenes of a really cool project that Peaches is doing with Luke from Haksum Creative Studio. It's going to be a really cool promotional video, and there's going to be a really interesting car involved, which the reason I'm here mainly is to shoot it and do a feature on it. But also, since I have the opportunity to kind of assist the entire shooting here in Korea of this really cool promotional videos over the next 3 days, I thought I'd kind of show you guys a bit of the behind the scenes of what goes into the production of something like this. And to start things off, I'm here at a really fancy hotel in Seoul. We're just about to pick up a really famous driver that's come all the way from Japan to do the driving for the video. And I'll let you guess who that could be. Hello. Well, there you go. It's Mr. Taniguchi. So this is going to be really cool because we have a cool driver, we have a cool car, we have a cool brand, and we have probably the best guys in the industry to kind of film it all. So we're just going to jump in. We're going to head to a secluded port area where we're going to get busy shooting. So we arrived at the port with Taniguchi-san, and this is actually the first time I see the Hyundai Pony 2 that we're going to be using in the video, or rather that Taniguchi is going to be using in the video. Slide around. It's an interesting looking car because I've never even heard of this. So this is the second generation of the Pony, I'm told, but as you can see, there's not much left from the original car. It's all like pipe frame, crazy engine and suspension layout. We got Akira here filming the BTS for the video. I have to say this car has some serious Audi Quattro vibes. Really short wheelbase and kind of box fenders. And of course, one important thing that I forgot to mention is that the exterior of the car is actually designed by Kaizal. So it's right on par with like modern day design by one of the most famous digital designers out there. A good friend of mine too. So I'm really happy to be involved in a project where you get to see something that has come from the mind of such a great designer and materialized into a production version race car that is going to be used and abused in what I hope to be like one of the coolest videos to come out of, this Korea-Japan collaboration. So excited to get going and start filming. This is a cool S2000 from Peaches. This is Corey's car, one of his S2000s. And then, of course, with this being a proper production, there's also a proper Russian arm set up here, mounted on a Mercedes ML 6.3, older generation. The cool thing about this is that, it's not often that you get the okay to do this kind of sort of thing, right? Kind of be like a behind the scenes look at a massive video production and get to see what goes behind it and how many people are actually involved, how much talent is brought into the country for it to kind of materialize and happen. And it truly is an international team that has been put together, kind of fusing Japan, Korea, the US in all the best ways possible, and of course with Kaizal doing the design of the car, also the UK. I just noticed, it is sitting on a truck, so I didn't really spot this at first, but the actual driver's position is well behind the B-pillar. But not to worry, we're gonna take a look at this car in detail once they get it unloaded, and I should have a bit of time to do this properly, like do a nice feature on it for the YouTube channel, but also take some pictures of it and do a proper story on speedhunters.com, because I think this really deserves it. It's something really unique, something never really been done before, and it definitely deserves all the space I can give it. So in case you're wondering, this is rear-wheel drive, it is not four-wheel drive. Some of the rear layout here, custom subframe holding up that diff. So as you can see here, there's the remote control for the actual pan, tilt, drift and speed of the Russian arm. There's a guy sitting in the trunk in his little Recaro seat controlling that. He's got one monitor, and then inside sits the camera operator, focus puller, again with monitors everywhere to kind of relay back what's being filmed. Alright, so we have moved into the main location here in the port. So it's basically going to be filmed around this dock area. And here's the Hyundai Pony 2 being unloaded. Taniguchi in the van filming his car for the day being unloaded. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more it's like a compact Audi Quattro Group B homologation special. The wheelbase is so short. So basically before the shoot, Taniguchi has done a couple of trips to Korea to kind of set up the car. It's a fresh build, so they had to do a lot of suspension kind of like setting and tuning and changes. And now today's the big day. After all these refinements to the car, it's ready to go for the filming. And of course the car is badged Peaches. So Peaches is a Korean apparel brand that is really trying to get involved with the whole car scene and doing it in fashion, because hell, if this isn't a good way to get your name out there, I really don't know what is. Inside, so interesting kind of cockpit design. So everything is sheet metal over pipe frame, and like I said before, they really did move the whole seating position right behind the B pillars. So literally Taniguchi sitting in kind of in between the passenger and driver position. As you see there, the commands for the hydro and the transmission, and his little AAM display. So the car runs on some Rotiform 5 spokes, as well as some other model there, which I haven't seen yet. And then plenty of extra tires to be fitted. So they're running 18-inch 245 40ZR18s. And the brand is Cylone. First shot of the night is to get the car leaving the port before we do all the drift action, and that's because it's supposed to be the beginning of the video where the car leaves the port at dawn. So Taniguchi is going to go for a little shakedown of the car just to get a feel for it, because he hasn't really driven it since he's arrived here today. He's going to take it for a spin, get familiarized again with the car before the actual shot is done. Here comes Taniguchi again after a second take with the Russian arm. Alright, so it's on to another sequence of the film. Later on in the night, the car is positioned under this gigantic crane which has just lifted that container up there. It's currently being suspended in the air. And they're gonna set up another shot here with the man behind Peaches, Ryo, who's gonna be pretending to be a dock worker.
He's gonna do it after like 2 seconds.
Rolling.
3,
2, 1. Okay.
야야야, 그 조심 좀 내려. 일본에서 방금 막 들어온 거라고.
Sorry. Okay, cut.
Okay, so that may seem a little bit odd, putting furniture inside a container, but the whole beginning of the video is basically Taniguchi being shipped from Japan overnight to Korea in a container, and he comes out of the container and starts driving the Hyundai Pony 2. So that's the shot they're setting up now, and I think it's going to be really fun to watch what they're going to do. Okay, I'm quite blown away. This is how well organized Peaches are when it comes to shoots. They even get a food truck to come over, already branded with Taniguchi's picture. Korean fried chicken.
It's going. It's good.
They're actually lifted the container so they can get the drop when it lands. A bit of a balancing act. Floating in the air. Okay, so they're gonna drop it down, well, I mean lower it, so they can get that clunk when it hits the ground. Pretty violent.
Doors. Action. Alright, cut. Action. Cut. Cut the action. Cut. Action and shot.
Alright, it's past midnight, finishing up some interior shots before the drifting actually begins, and they are also preparing some smoke machines here. To get the mood just right. Some cool pink and blue lights. Okay, so they prop the car up on the front so that Taniguchi can have light steering and they can recreate a driving scene from the inside without actually be driving.
Oh, it's doing good.
First time I actually see oil-based smoke machines. They stink like hell.
Three, two, one. Action. 3, 2, 1. Action.
Okay, so beginning of the actual drifting sequences. I'm not even sure if I should be standing here, so I'm not quite certain what I can actually film, but I'll try and get as much as I can. Of course, you're gonna see the final result in the video, so setting up another shot. It's gonna be a tricky one because they have to be pretty close together as Taniguchi drifts the corner. So that's Taniguchi practicing to get the car sideways. Not as easy as it seems. He's nailed it now, so he's got to practice with some clutch kicks because the turbo is probably a bit too big for the actual setup of the engine, so it kind of dies once he changes gear, which makes it a bit tough, but he's going for it. Getting the hang of it. Unbelievable. The guy literally tried 4 times and he's killing it already. Unbelievable. Now, the hard part is that he has to do that next to this car here. Now that's the tough part. Alright, so this is day 2, or evening 2. We did take a long break today, considering we probably all got to bed around 7 a.m. And Luke and the crew were doing some additional scooter shots, rigging up the scooter with cameras and getting some shot of the rider driving around. And now we are at another location, which is really cool. It's up in the hills above Seoul. Really nice when it comes to like architecture. It's kind of a mix of old and new. I'm actually walking to the top of the actual place where we're shooting so we can get like a bird's eye view into that hairpin bend. It would be cool if Taniguchi drifts it, but he's not going to do that. Okay, I really cannot get over the view from up here. So basically these are all the hills where all the tiny little small older homes in Seoul are located. Well, while those guys set up, I'm gonna enjoy this view. There's a little model car. A little surprise visit from the police. Okay, so in the end the police actually did end up parking and walking up, asking a few questions. And there's more police rocking up.
I was literally just thinking like child Mike is probably like so happy with adult Mike, right?
유준아, 너 여기서 뭐 하는 거야? 집에 빨리 가야 되는데. 가자, 얼른. 왜 차례만 지고 있어? 엄마, 진짜 좀 봐.
Okay, so that was the whole shot pretty much pieced together with different takes, seeing the kid play, his reaction, seeing the car arrive, and then seeing Taniguchi get out the car and then smile to the kid. So a few more shots to go on this location, then we go for the final location of the day, which is a railway crossing. So few more hours to go. Okay, so we have moved to the final location for the night, railway crossing up the road, where you can see a bunch of buildings in the background. They've unloaded the pony here, and a bit of a surprise, there's been a bit of an addition of cars here. And one thing I noticed here in Seoul is basically that there really aren't any modified cars. I'm not really sure why that is. I don't know if it's like really kind of like illegal when it comes to getting permits or whatnot, but haven't seen anything. So it's really cool to see that these cars have shown up. We have a Genesis with what looks like a Pandem over fender kit sitting on work wheels, an M3 BMW, and an A90 Supra sporting like a custom vinyl wrap sitting on T37s. It's a bit dark, so you probably can't really see it. Kind of reminds me of the Speedhunters logo. So that's the setup of the scene before Taniguchi arrives. The shot is done but not complete, in the way that unfortunately they weren't allowed to drive the pony because the police showed up and they've been parked behind the car on the road for the last hour. So without wanting to risk the drive, that ends day 2. We have about 4 hours before day 3 starts. Not a lot of sleep tonight, but the cool thing is we actually go to a racetrack tomorrow, so we're gonna see Taniguchi go full out in the pony. So off we go for a little bit of sleep and rest. Okay, so fast forward maybe 5 hours from the last time that we were shooting. Very short rest, and we're back out at the track. But before we actually get to the track, they actually planned a shot to be done out here on the main street as the car enters the track. So that's what they're setting up for now. It's just past 6 a.m. and they have the Russian arm set up ready for the shot to be filmed. Sony Venice Fujinon 28-100 lens on there. And again, the main concern when doing this, as you've seen over the last couple of days, is staying away from the police attention, because they're not really liking what we're doing. The guys from Peaches had to talk to them last night for a while. They're not happy with the fact that they can't kind of categorize if the pony is able to be driven on the street, seeing that it's been modified so extensively. Modifying cars in Korea is hard, almost impossible because of regulations, so they just want to make sure that you know, we're not driving something illegal on the street, which makes it very difficult. But hopefully these guys will get the shot this morning and we can continue on with the track stuff.
So when we're pushing, you're going to be in front. So I'll say keep everything on medium. I'll say slow, 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 slow. I'll say fast, fast,
All right, here we go. So they're going to head out and do the first shot. So we've arrived at the AMG Speedway just outside of Seoul. So we have the circuit for the day. So this is actually a closed circuit. It's only used for exhibitions, training, manufacturer events, and kind of like clubs and stuff. So it's quite cool that we get access to it. We have it for the whole day. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with the selection of AMGs behind me. I did spot something really cool though. There's a couple of AMG GTs, the new SL here, and this G63 with these crazy Maybach looking wheels. How cool is that? Looks like these cars get used in anger. Okay, this is super cool. We're unloading the Pony over there, but there's the pickup version of the Pony here. So the same generation as the one that was modified for the video. This is a Pony 2. It's a second generation car. And I had no idea they actually made a pickup out of it. And it's running what looks like moon discs. 1.5 liter double overhead cam engine. There's a nice handling course here, kind of Gymkhana style. But yeah, I'm quite impressed at the actual facilities here. It's all AMG branded. I'm just walking down here because they brought the Pony in there for some maintenance, so I'm gonna have a look at what they're doing. And then Luke and his team has to start rigging the car up. It's got a really cool vibe, this track. It kind of reminds me of Grand Valley on Gran Turismo. All the pine trees along the main straight. Beautiful place. So rigging up 2 cameras for the first shot. One will be about here, and then another one on the other side, filming the front wheel. So lots of rigging needs to be done. Alright, so all the rigging has been finished, and they're taking it out for a first test. Extremely sturdy. All complete. So running 2 FX3s. Filming 2 wheels, 1 front, 1 rear. Taniguchi's getting ready. First outing in the car on a proper track. Finally we stop driving this car on the road. Can go full out without fear of making too much noise and people calling the police. We actually discovered that it's been like people just generally like either being disturbed by the noise or the presence of the car, calling the police yesterday twice. So it's been a bit tough, but here we are.
You gotta make sure the camera's there.
We'll try and get close later on, but he's definitely getting it sideways on entry, but there's no power, or at least enough power to continue to drift. All right, here he comes. So car's back in the pits, checking footage, checking car condition. I thought it was actually on fire at one point. I think it was just a bunch of like really hot rubber that kind of caught fire and got stuck to the inner fender. Okay, so a little update. It's currently mid-afternoon. The car had a bit of an issue, so when I actually saw tire smoke coming from the rear fenders, it was actually due to a suspension failure. So the car actually runs a custom geometry. It has inboard suspension with pivots, kind of like a push rod layout, and one of the supports ended up failing, and it kind of put the whole axis of the suspension off balance, which meant that the car started squatting and the tire was rubbing inside the fender well. They actually shipped the car off to a local shop, and they did some quick patchwork with some welding, added supports both sides, and kind of brought back everything in line. The car seems to have been running well for the past hour. So I'm just gonna go and check out what's happening. I'm actually waiting for my chance to shoot the car. I'm planning to do a feature for Speed Hunters, so I try and get some cool shots, maybe as the sun goes down. This venue is really cool. This track is pretty amazing. I mean, it has this insane back section with all these hills, and it's actually really, really long. For some reason, they don't allow drifting, which is weird. But Taniguchi has been doing drifting today. That's what we're here for. But aside from that, I'm just gonna check out what's happening now, what other shots they need to be doing, and eventually when I can get 15-20 minutes with the car so I can do my thing with it. Okay, so obviously there was an issue with the car. Unfortunately, one of the tie rods snapped, pushing the wheel back into the skirt. Luckily, the front over fender wasn't damaged. Taniguchi stopped right in time, and I think they're on their way to fixing it. As you can hear, they had a bunch of spare parts. Model S Plaid. Got a little demo of these things can do. Pretty shocking. It's the only thing that makes me like electric cars, the instant acceleration. Car's being fixed, and now Taniguchi is going to take it for a bit of an abuse, just to check if anything else is going to break. So he has to make sure that it's super safe, so that he can actually drift close to the arm car. And hopefully he can smash this out. God, it's fast. Oh, nice. So I guess everybody's impressed with the FPV drone. In the meantime, car's being prepped for some fake driving shots, as in propping up the car and getting Taniguchi doing his thing behind the wheel. We gotta get this car in the sun. Light is going quick, but at least the car didn't break anymore, and they were able to get all the actual important shots to create the video and piece it together. Now it's the rest that needs to be done. Actually, for me, it was really fun because it's been a while that I haven't put the video camera down and picked up my stills camera and actually got to do some low shutter pans as Taniguchi drove by. It was fun. I haven't done it in a while. Miss it. Okay, that's a wrap for this project. What an awesome couple of days I've spent here in Korea, working with Luke and his team and meeting all the guys from Peaches, and of course working with Taniguchi again, who always proves to be such a great sport when it comes to like crazy requests. And I hope you enjoyed seeing the behind the scenes of what goes into a production like this. And for me, it was especially fun because I actually got to put the video camera down and pick up a still camera again and get to do some pictures for the Speed Hunters story that I'm also doing. So make sure you check that out as well as the video. And I hope you enjoyed this one from Korea.